Alright, it's time for another draft. And sadly, we are still drafting M11, but nothing wrong with that. Looking at our first pick here. Okay, so Day of Judgment, obviously a bomb. Fireball, obviously a bomb. Man. Yeah, those are definitely the two best cards. So, if we take the Day of Judgment, not only are we solidly in white, but we are passing Pacifism, Fireball, and White Knight, and Cloud Crusader. There's just so many white cards in this pack. I don't know if Day of Judgment is that much better than Fireball. I think I'm going to take Fireball and just stay out of white. It's always good to start your draft with a Fireball, and I just don't think the power level is enough given all the white cards that we're going to pass. So obviously we're going to stay away from white. We're going to put our, hopefully the next two people in some kind of white brew. The best cards here are Pyroclasm and Howling Banshee, and there's also a Quag Sickness. That's pretty good. The rest of this pack's pretty bad. Preordain's okay, but it's not second pick material, and we're not going to take a white card. Pyroclasm's better the earlier you get it. It's pretty good, like if you can build around it and try to build like a more controlling deck. We kind of did that in the last draft, but it turned out to be a pretty successful strategy, and our strategy failing was definitely not for want of Pyroclasms. So I think we're going to take that and again take the opportunity to ship two cards of the same color that are both pretty powerful and just try to not worry too much about those colors. So at this point, none of these cards is really that good. We could take a Squadron Hawk, because Squadron Hawk is better if you take one early and then you can just look for others, but I mean Squadron Hawk's pretty average. We haven't passed a lot of blue. We could pick up a card like Flash Freeze or Cancel. Ley Line of Anticipation is actually not the worst. It makes all of your stuff combat tricks and it's not that bad. It's not great. I mean it's okay. The alternative is we could take Rotting Legion, but we've already passed some decent black cards. Although, man, nothing in here is really going to be a good third pick. That's for sure. Given the kind of deck that we have, Rotting Legion is probably the safest pick. Ley Line of Anticipation, if we want to, yeah, I'm just going to take the Rotting Legion. Here we have some pretty bad cards. We could take Terramorphic Expanse. Cloud Crusader this late is a good sign, but I think the ship has sailed on white. Barony Vampire is mainly just filler. Although, I mean, I'd be happy to play like a Canyon Minotaur in this sort of deck, and I think Barony Vampire is about the same value as about the same value as like a Canyon Minotaur. We could take the Terramorphic Expanse and stay open. It's kind of early, so like we're not near the end of a draft where we would know if we're desperate for playables or not. And we don't really have, like, the Rotting Legion is not a really convincing reason to stay in black. There's nothing here, so we're just going to take the Terramorphic Expanse. And even if we don't get great cards from here on out, we'll at least be open to pick up a bomb if we find one in the next pack. Here we could go a number of ways. We could take the Dark Tutelage, but probably that doesn't play well with the controlling type cards that we have already. Augury Owl is quite nice in a control shell, as is Safe Passage. I think the pick is between those two cards. We've passed a lot of white. We have not passed a lot of blue, so I think we're going to take the Augury Owl with an eye towards building some sort of Grixis colored control deck here with just a lot of removal and good value cards. Good tempo plays if we can get them, like Aether Adept. Man, these packs have been pretty empty, and even we haven't seen a lot of red cards, and the ones we have not been very good. Active Treason is better in an aggressive deck. This deck is certainly not aggressive. Chandra Spitfire could be okay. It's a 1/3 flyer for 3, which is not bad, especially on defense. And we're going to be playing red, so we'll probably pick up some cards that combo well with it. The other thing we could do is take a cancel or like Call to Mind or rebuy Fireball or Pyroclasm. I think both of those are interesting picks, but we're definitely in red, and we want to cut off as many red cards as possible so we get better stuff later. This pack is okay. The choice is going to be between Call to Mind and Nether Horror. Nether Horror is alright at beating down, but it unfortunately trades with a lot of cheap stuff, and then we're also probably going to be behind in this sort of deck when we play it, so we don't want to just play a 4-drop that trades with their 2/2 or like their Garrick's Companions, things like that. At the same time, I guess I'll pick up a Call to Mind. That'll make any future burn we pick up that much better, and I really haven't seen a great reason to play black yet. No Doom Blades or whatever, though we can certainly consider splashing later if we want to. Here the pick is between Harbor Serpent and Negate. Negate's kind of just a good utility card, but I think it'll be pretty easy to pick up one of those later, whereas Harbor Serpent is a pretty good creature to have. It's a decent finisher against a lot of decks. It's usually not hard to get 5 islands in some matchups. It's close, but I'm going to take the Harbor Serpent. Wow. So we actually wheeled 2... Oh, this is not a wheel. Yeah, this is pick 8. Volshock Berserker is an excellent card in any deck. It's a 3/2 haste for 4. Ice Cage is also quite good. The fact that we're in 2 colors, like Ice Cage is good in like blue-white or blue-green where there isn't a lot of removal available, but Ice Cage can be pretty poor as far as removal goes, whereas Volshock Berserker is always solid. And if we take a look at the cost sort, he fits a good point on our curve. Here we wield the cancel. We're just gonna take it. I'm not excited to play it, but it could be good if we face. It could be good if we face like a really big bomb we just can't deal with. At this point, I'll take Unholy Strength for signaling purposes and to deal with that Ice Cage that we passed. Blood Crazed Goblin is pretty good in a control deck as a sideboard card. You can bring it in against other aggressive decks and just trade with their early creatures. I guess I'll just take the Kraken's Eye and hide it. And Sight is pretty bad. So I mean, we don't really have a lot of great stuff right now, but we do have Fireball, and we're pretty open. Like there's no, we could abandon this for Primeval Titan or or whatever, if there was something insane in this pack. Well, Platinum Angel's pretty good. It dies to a lot of stuff, including like this acidic slime that we're gonna have to pass. But it is a solid flyer, and it does a lot of work. It's just a matter of whether I want to... It's also bad against Diminish if somebody has that. The other consideration is that if I don't take it, I have to pass it. I'm not going to take a green card here. We didn't see any reason to go green in the first pack.